15 of the fantasy basketball season, and here's a few guards I look to buy and trade for this week. The first guy, Jrue Holiday of the Milwaukee Bucks. Holiday, he was out for a couple weeks with protocols and a little bit of an ankle injury, but he's been back now, is Holiday, over the last 4 games here, and his numbers haven't been that great since his return for Holiday. On the season, he was off to a great start before he missed time, though. 17.8 points a game, 4.7 rebounds, 6.4 assists, 1.5 steals, 1.7 threes, and 48% from the field. But the last couple weeks here, in the 4 games he returned, 13 points a game, 5 rebounds, 4.3 assists, 1 3, and 38% from the field here for Holiday. So obviously, those stats aren't good, and he's been in a slump since he returned, but we know he's one of the better guards in all of fantasy basketball in the NBA, and I think he's just got to get his legs on the rim, and he'll get things going. So right now, while he's had some poor games and his value's dropped a little bit, this is a perfect time to buy him low. The last few games here for Holiday, January 21st versus the Bulls, 13 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, a 3, 41% from the field. January 22nd versus the Kings, 26 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 2 threes, 50% from the field. In January 26th at the Cleveland Cavs, 4 points, 6 boards, 7 assists, a block, and 22% from the field. So right now, those haven't been good games except the January 22nd game. And he's going to bounce back, no doubt about it. Like I mentioned, he just got to get his legs on the rim. And he's got a great matchup coming up tomorrow versus the New York Knicks, where everyone has been going awful late. So right now, if I could get Holiday on the cheap here, this is a definite time to do it before he has a few big games and his value's back to where it was in the beginning of the season. The next guard I'd look to buy this week and trade for is Spencer Dinwiddie of the Washington Wizards. So Dinwiddie got off to a great start this season here with his new team. 13.3 points a game, 4.6 rebounds, 5.7 assists, 1.7 threes, and 38% from the field. But the last few weeks here, only 11 points a game, 3.8 rebounds, 5.8 assists, a steal, 2 threes, and 33% from the field. So Dinwiddie, he was never a great field goal percentage shooter over the last few years, obviously with the Brooklyn Nets and the Detroit Pistons. So right here, the last few games for Dinwiddie, January 21st versus the Raptors, 17 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, a steal, 5 threes, 60% from the field. January 23rd, a horrible ball game for him, 4 points, 5 boards, 5 assists, a steal, 2 blocks, 83% from the field. And January 25th versus the Clippers, 5 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, a 3, and 20% from the field. So obviously that's not going to get the job done here for Dinwiddie and fantasy owners. And right now, while he's struggling mightily over the last 2 or 3 weeks, he's definitely a guy you could go out there and get on the low as well, because he's a good ball player, and he's probably hitting the wall a little bit after missing last season with the ACL injury. Pretty much the whole year, he only played a handful of games. So right here, I think he's just in a slump. I think he's a little fatigued, but he's a good player, and he's going to get things going. So right here, I think he'll start get things going in the next week or two as Dinwiddie, especially with 3 days off before his next game from the 25th to the 29th. I think that'll definitely help him out, and he's a guard to get on the low this week. And the third and final guard I look to buy and trade for this week's Kyle Lowry of the Miami Heat. So it's been a great season for this Heat team. And Kyle Lowry, the numbers have definitely gone down from last season to this season, and now he's missed over the last week here, personal issue, and maybe this is what he needed, some time away from the game here after struggling on the season. 13.4 points a game, 4.5 rebounds, still 8.3 assists though, a steal, 2.1 threes, and 41% from the field. It seems like Lowry in the second half of the season, his numbers have gone up throughout his career, and right now with him being out the last week here for this Heat team, him probably returning though, I think he'll return either January 31st or early February here. Maybe said, he's going to get hot in the second half of the season. This Heat team, they got title aspirations, and he's going to be a big part of this team. So right now, while Kyle Lowry hasn't played the last few weeks and his numbers have gone down over from last season to this season here, he's definitely a buy low candidate, and this is the time to get him, because if he comes back and puts up big numbers, then obviously his value is going to be back to where it was early in the year. So that's a few guards I look to buy and trade for here for Week 15 of the fantasy basketball season.